Welcome and welcome back. Today we got the starter relic reveal plus a bunch of other stuff, so let's jump into it. Here we are, our first big reveal. We got the starter relic row in tier 1. That's what we're getting for free. Now they also did give us how the passives are going to look through the tiers, so I want to talk about that real quick before we talk about the different relic effects. Starting in tier 1, I know this is maybe a little bit clumped up, but bear with me. Tier 1, we're getting ourselves a base 5 times experience rate. We're getting a 2 times drop multiplier. We've got a 4 times minigame point multiplier, 5 times faster farm ticks, permanent run energy, and also stackable clues, plus the clue steps stick between them. So if you get a step that you don't like, you can drop it. That's actually pretty nice for this year. I think that's a new one. Once we get to tier 2, we get 8 times XP. Tier 3 is going to be a little bit different. We're getting a 1.5 times multiplier for combat XP, so we're getting that split. So at this point, we've got 8 times XP for anything non-combat and 12 times XP for combat skills. Tier 3 also is going to be seeing bigger and badder unlock for free, 5 times the Slayer points, and 1 out of 50 chance for superiors to spawn. So tier 3 is going to be like the big combat Slayer focused area. Once you get to tier 4, you get 5 times the drop rate on stuff, 8 times minigame points. So if you are waiting to farm out rare drops, tier 4 is where you can really just start sending it. Tier 5 gives us a 12 times XP multiplier. And again, remember combat has that 1.5, so combat is going up to 18 times XP. And then the last bump we get is at tier 7, which is going to be 16 times XP. And again, for combat, that's going to mean 27 times combat XP. Now, the other cool thing with combat XP is it's also going to include prayer this year. So prayer is going to be extremely fast to train compared to, I mean, it was fast last year anyway if you had Golden God, but if you didn't, well, now you're in luck. So it's going to be really good. But that's all the passives that we're going to get as we go through the tiers. So let's talk about the starting relics themselves. First up, we do have Endless Harvest. Yay us! We guessed that one. That was one of the easy ones from yesterday's reveal. It is going to give us Endless Gathering. What that means is when you click a node to gather, whether it's mining, woodcutting, or fishing, you just stay there. Even if the node itself moves or depletes, so like the tree is chopped, it's a nub on the ground, you're going to keep going at it. So this is going to be really, really good for people who want to AFK. It's also going to give you double the resource drops, and you do get XP for that. So it's essentially 2 times additional XP on top of all the other league's multipliers for these 3 skills. Next up, we have got Barbarian Gathering. There was no chance at us guessing this one, man. Oh, what can you do? This one is going to let you gather with your hands. That's kind of neat. You don't need tools. You don't need bait. You're punching trees. You're punching rocks. I guess you're punching fish too. It's barbarian training, right? Now, your hands are going to be the equivalent of crystal tools. So those are the tier 70, which is super nice. Anytime you gather from any of these skills, 10% of the XP is also going to go into strength and agility. It's an additional 10% just on top, kind of like how barbarian training works for fly fishing. We're also going to be given a knapsack. This lets us store up to 140 items, so it's just kind of expanding the inventory a little bit. And we are also getting a 50% success roll if we fail to mine something or chop something or fish something. Now, this is especially good for those higher tier nodes that you're going to have. So like Runite ore or anglerfish, dark crabs, redwood trees, all of that type of stuff is going to benefit tremendously from that 50% success roll. So if you want like the fastest XP when it comes to gathering skills, this is probably going to be the one. And it's also just giving you passive solve for agility. I mean, strength, combat in general, not really that hard to solve for. So I mean, it's a nice benefit. That one's not super crazy, but agility is horrible. So now you can partially AFK your way to like 99 agility if you wanted to. The last of these 3 is abundance. This one feels a little bit like you need a PhD to understand it. So I'm going to talk about each of the benefits here individually, but here they all are in one place. So the first part of this relic is all non-combat skills get a plus 10 permanent boost. This does refresh as you level up. So really what this means is this is helping you get to tasks sooner. Is that good? Is that bad? In general, I think this has been fairly strong in the past. It's going to help you get up through the relic tiers a little bit faster. Does it hold up in the end game? I mean, no, if you're going to max your account, is this going to be like top tier for you? Maybe not. But I will say, in the past, when we've had this sort of like permanent boost thing, it has been really nice for skills to just kind of get to those tasks a little bit earlier. So if you're someone who, maybe you just want to rush to like tier 8, I do think that this is going to be really helpful for you. Granted, it depends a little bit on what the other relics are going to be. But this is a lot of skills that it's boosting. It is probably going to help you get to a lot of points just a little bit sooner, especially as you get into the higher levels. The next part of this one is going to be extra XP. Now, if you remember something like Equilibrium from last year, every time you get any sort of XP drop, you're getting an additional 2 XP, and this one is impacted by the League's multiplier, so depending where you're at, that's anywhere from 10 to 32 extra XP. Now, I question whether or not this part of the relic is even good, because this is by essentially action for a skill. Yes, you are getting passive XP, so like it'll add up slowly, but construction, for example, if you were going to build oak larders all the way up to 99, in the main game, it takes you about 27,000 of those. You might say, wow, that sounds like a lot. If we just took that number, let's put aside the League's multiplier for a minute. The extra 2 XP there, that amounts to what? 54,000 extra XP? That's on your way to 99? It's not that good. And this is true for like most of the other skills. Now, there may be some weird methods where you can train skills and get a lot of use out of this extra XP, but I've found in the past when using something like Equilibrium, if you're doing that, you're kind of getting suboptimal XP anyway. So it doesn't really work out. I mean, there's maybe some like very, very niche ways of training with this, like AFK essence mining or something. But like, if you want to do AFK mining, you're not picking this relic. You're going for the endless gathering. So I don't know. I don't think that this XP really adds up to much just in total. From my napkin math, if you were to completely max your account, 99 all skills, you're probably going to get somewhere in the ballpark of like 2 to 3 mil XP out of this relic, which that's with the League's multiplier. Like, it's just not that good. Now, the third part of this relic is you get GP every time you earn XP, and it's 2 times the GP to XP. So you get 5 XP, means you get 10 GP. Gosh, how many times can I say GP like in a 2-second time frame? Now, for reference, a level 99 is about 13 million XP. So level 99 is going to give you 26 million GP. Is that good? Leagues in general, we typically have other relics that will help give us some cash. Now, I don't necessarily think this is like horrible, but things like thieving are giving you a lot of GP. You're going to be getting a lot of alkables because you're doing a lot of PVM. So I don't know that the GP is like super, super strong, but it is fair to say there are quite a few skills that benefit from you having GP. So things like crafting, construction, cooking, fletching, smithing. Is that all the buyables? I feel like I might be missing one, but these buyable skills, there's a lot of shops in the game that you can access that'll help speed up the training. So this can help solve for those skills. I do think, 26 million GP doesn't get you there. I think for everything besides construction, maybe it does. So like for construction, you need orders of magnitude more GP than this. So like it's probably not perfectly solving you there. But if you're going to do like standard construction training, then sure. You're just not doing like demonic thrones or whatever. So it's okay. Now, when I looked at these, it begged the question, is this relic just absolute trash? And having gone through kind of the individual benefits of it, I don't think it's fully trash. I think we've escaped a year where we have an absolute trash can of a relic in the first tier. This feels a little bit more balanced than in the past years. I can't say that I love this relic, but if I set aside the XP piece of it, and I don't care that much about the GP side, I'm like, okay, the boost is nice. You get a little bit of passive GP in there. It is like a little bit of a positive. Forget about the XP. I think the XP here just sucks. So between the 3 of these, I'm definitely in the camp where I want one of these other 2. Endless Harvest for the AFK or Barbarian Gathering for just like fun punching stuff, passive XP. And I think it's going to be faster for all the gathering skills. For Abundance, it has its uses. If you want to just kind of like go through things really fast, you don't plan on getting yourself to like Dragon tier, maxing your account, I could see it. I think there's a world for it. If you take this and you plan to max your account, Lord help you on the gathering skills, because there better be another relic somewhere in there for you. Otherwise, I think you're going to be hurting pretty bad. Although, I guess in fairness, most of the gathering skills can be AFK. So yeah, maybe I'm like underselling this one. I don't know. Now, before I talk about some of the other reveals that we got today, I did just want to kind of compile together what we have from yesterday's reveal and with these in mind. So this is kind of the spread that I'm thinking. I'm not going to tell you what all of these relics are individually. If you want to see that, I'll link the video from yesterday where I talk about each of these different images that they gave us. But in general, I'm kind of liking the look of where this is at currently. We do have a couple of empty spots where I'm just not sure if we've got a relic yet to fill these. But overall, I think this is going to be right. We'll see as we get more reveals. It'll be cool. And this is already starting to make me think about certain paths, like, do you go for Barbarian Gathering so you can pick up dodgy deals, give you like AoE pickpocketing, solve your gold problem? Do we get like a Portal Nexus teleport thing that we pick up, come into here? You know, do we have like a Production Prodigy maybe? Golden God Reloaded? Here I am naming all the relics like I said I wasn't going to do. But I think this really helps in kind of like starting to define our path. And I'm sure that'll be thrown out as we get more reveals and it turns out like this is not what we thought it was. This is like a chess piece and it actually makes you control the board of life. I don't know. But we'll see. Now, in terms of the other reveals we got, it's a massive news post talking about the different rules, the areas, everything like that. But there were some good tidbits in there that give us a little bit more to work with for the league as we move into the rest of the reveals. Obviously, we're starting in Yama's lair. They told us that from the beginning. So we got a little picture of Yama's lair. You can see a demon butler. You see an extra Leagues NPC here. Another Leagues NPC over here. A bunch of demons. That's kind of cool. And they did say we are going to be getting a level 1 agility course in here. So we've got our agility solve. We're not going to have to worry about it. If you don't want to take maybe like the Barbarian Gathering Relic, then you can come here in Yama's lair and train this up until you get to 50. Then you can go to the Varlamore course. Likewise, they also said we are going to have access to fairy rings. We're getting those auto-completed, which means we're going to have Xanarus. So we have a Slayer Master at the start. That's really cool. We're also getting these 2 shields added to the shop. So Elemental Shield, Dragonfire Shield, we're going to have access to both of those. And because we do have fairy rings, that means the Abyssal Sire is still in the mix. I know all of you love that boss, so have at it. It's there for you. Now, I didn't have a good way to represent this, but I did want to put this in here. They gave us a couple of things talking about items, but I think the big thing in this is items that drop as components that require multiple regions to create. A usable item will drop as a finished item. So we are still getting completed items this year, like I was expecting, so that is definitely a plus. Now, on to some of the area-specific things. We are keeping Bard Dorvis in Varlamore. That's crazy. Varlamore is so stacked. We're also getting Perilous Moons, the quest that's required to get into Camptorum. That is going to be auto-completed for us at the start. So that's great because that means we actually have a path to solve rune crafting, and we get access to the shops in there early. Now, for the rune crafting method, you are still going to have to get to 48 Slayers so you can kill the Sulfur Naguas because they have a Slayer requirement on there. But once you do have that Slayer requirement, you can get the essence that they drop and turn them into the guy that's in the Moon's Chest reward room for runecrafting XP. So that'll help you get your runecrafting level up if you don't want to do something like using the Karamja lamp on it to try and get to Sunfire runes. They did also confirm in the general store in Civitas, they're going to be adding bird snares and box traps. So that means we are going to be able to train our hunter from an early level in Varlamore. That's super nice. For the shops, we are seeing the same charter ship last year get the hunter crossbow. So that's going to be in the region. They also hinted at a couple of things here for 2 other shops in Varlamore. The blacksmith is getting something, which almost makes me wonder if we're going to see like maybe a rune set from this, but I'm not 100% sure. I'd like to know what you guys think on these 2. Also in the Teltecan Rain shop, mysterious things, maybe some Atlatl darts or something. Again, let me know what you guys think they're going to be adding to these 2 shops. For Asgarnia, you guys were smart, you're correct. We get Below Ice Mountain auto-completed just by picking up the area. So if you did want to take Asgarnia early, then you can get into that area for like the early training, work on your Baronite Mace, things like that. So Asgarnia, not the worst region to pick first. We are also keeping the cannon here. That's a plus. Would have hated to see that go towards like Kandrin, though Kandrin needs a win. In the desert, again, you guys are pretty smart. Amir's Arena, it is disabled, so we're not going to be able to imbue things through that. Does make me a little nervous that Kandrin might be the only place we get to imbue things, but we'll see what the reveals bring for it. They have confirmed we're keeping Leviathan here as well, and we're also keeping Guardians of the Rift. There's going to be a portal in the Mage Training Arena in order to get to there. So, Desert, nice little bonus for you. Probably get some better points. Doesn't have to be like 5th in the ranking, for some crazy people out there. Oh, next area, Fremnik. Man, bad times for Fremnik. There really wasn't anything like extra positive in there for it. It's kind of just the same area that we knew it was. On the Kandarin side, it looks like we're actually getting Wrath Ruins. Hey, they listened to me. Kandarin's getting something. Maybe this will be the Elemental region. We'll have to see what they do with the Echo, because I think just Wrath Ruins by themselves, probably not quite enough to bring Kandarin up, but it gives me a lot of hope for Kandarin. If nothing else, this might help it overtake the Fremnik region. Yeah, I guess this is a loss for Fremi, because normally you'd have to pick up Fremnik to get access to this stuff. Ugh, bad news for Fremnik enjoyers. Speaking of bad news bears for Kurend. We do not have Yama, or even the Chasm of Fire listed out here in the notable combat activities. Could be they missed it, could be a typo, but we also don't have Yama's drops listed here in the unique drop section. So maybe that means everywhere is going to have access to Yama, or maybe that means Yama's not available in the league. That would be a bummer. Now, on the somewhat positive side, I don't even know if I can give this full marks here. Chambers is getting a buff to rare drops, sort of, and they are also going to be tweaking the weighting on the prayer scrolls to make them less common. So this does mean you should pull more purples, but they're not guaranteed. It also means that the purples you pull will be less likely to be the prayer scroll, so you're not going to be swimming in a stack of 1,000 of these things if you're farming chambers. I mean, that is good. I would have preferred to see them give us guaranteed drops like the other 2 raids, but it is what it is. So, yeah. We also get a Kingdom Divided auto-completed. That's cool. That's a plus, right? You don't have to do that quest. Yay. Mauritania is mostly what we expected in this region, but we are getting just a flat additional 2 times drop rate for both raids and Fazani's Nightmare, so that is going to make farming these 2 things out a little bit nicer. Taranwen's getting the Fremnik treatment, man. There's nothing extra in here. We're just waiting for more reveals at this point. Hopefully something will come to help Taranwen out. And the last area that they gave us some info on, the Wilderness. And these are actually really, really solid changes. We've got access to the Revs Cave is free. Access to the Agility course is free. The laps there don't reset if you get killed. So while, yes, you've got the walk time to get back out there, it's a lot less grief heavy than it would have been otherwise. They have said Crystalia is going to be available for tasks somewhere. Maybe that means we get Edgeville, or at least a portion of Edgeville. That's kind of where my head's leaning, but we might see Crystalia somewhere in Yama's lair as well. Could be a possibility. Be a little weird, though. And the medium diary requirement for the Wilderness bosses is being removed. Now, this doesn't include things like zombie pirates needing the diary in order to get the drops, so a little bit of a bummer there. But the fact that Revenants are free, the big bosses in the area don't have a diary requirement, I think that helps a lot for the Wilderness. Now, I know I was speedrunning these areas. If you want a deeper dive of those, I've actually got a playlist, which you might even be watching right now, with all of the area reviews, deep dives, and all of the leagues reveals, so make sure to check that out if you want. I'm also going to be linking my Discord down below, so if you want to join the community, you want to talk about all of these different reveals, see what they mean, tell me that abundance is great and I'm wrong about the XP there, then make sure to join the Discord. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.